Can't we these days to do it all at home? Wonderful footage of like Grand Central Station and people just looking like ants, and highways and cars just going crazy, and cattle running around, and that's the vibe, of the song. Just like, boy, everybody's just a bit crazy here. Can't we just slow things down a little bit?
John Michael Hersey with us today. He joins us live here on our big program. So, you mentioned that you make a few CDs up when you go out and do this thing. Are the CDs that over? Are people still into CDs after all these years?
They're kind of over, I have to say. What I do these days
That's good. That's good.
Well, people they don't have CD players. That's one of the problems. I used to be that cars had them, and now like the newer models don't even have CD players in them. I guess you can buy them, but it's mostly I give them away as promotional items because some people still have them.
Yeah.
And so I'll do a show and just said, hey, here you go, folks. Here's a free CD. If you have a CD player, take it home. Otherwise, go to the internet. I'm all the usual places, Spotify and Apple Music, and of course YouTube and everything. But just for fun, I think the folks like us who grew up with albums and CDs, hey, it was kind of fun to hold this thing in your hand and look at the artwork.
That's right.
So it's still a thing. It's still a thing, but it's not much of a thing anymore.
Yeah. John Michael Hersey with us today. He joins us live. All this new material that you've got out there, what has been the reaction to that when you've been out playing and promoting?
It's been very favorable. It's been very nice. People have had wonderful things to say. They seem to like. I love to hear people's feedback and see which songs maybe they connect with. And so just from what I've seen in some radio reports, it looks like, like this song, Everybody Wants It Now, is getting a little play. A song called The Time Has Come is getting some play. And this song, this kind of a blues song called Tuesday is Blues Day, it looks like it's getting some play on a blues specialty program somewhere in Indiana, I think. So yeah, it's been good. I really feel good about this one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you're out at the live performances, what are people saying when they're coming up and buying music from you?
That it's great that they have. I've gotten, I think, great feedback from people, and I like to play songs from previous albums. And so what I do is I bring all, samples of all my CDs, and I just tell people, hey, if there was a song that you heard today that you like, not even from the recent album, feel free to take one. Take an older album. I'm a pretty eclectic performer. I do sort of rock and blues, but I also have a lot of country-ish type songs.
Yeah.
And I had spent many years as a musical director for a doo-wop band.
That's awesome.
So I've written some songs in the doo-wop style, and people seem to really like that stuff, which is great. So it's a very kind of good time type of music, and I get a lot of good feedback about that.
Doo-wop, baby.
Yes.
How in the world did you end up doing this doo-wop thing?
Well, it was I happened to know somebody who was playing keyboards with a group called the Cadillacs. And they were big back in the 50s. They had a couple of hits, and then they just made a living on the oldie circuit. So I got a job playing with them many years ago as their guitar player, just a paying job, and then traveling around with them. And then eventually I started background.
Yeah.
Whole album.
That's awesome.
And that's how, and it, yeah.
I think that's amazing. It is John Michael Hersey with us today.
No, it's one. I love all kinds of music.
Yes, I think that's great. I'm glad you're making it happen, my friend. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So everybody wants it now. We are going to play this here in a few moments. Tell me a little bit about the music video. You've got that up on YouTube. Tell us about the music video, my friend.
Well, like I said, I shot it with a green screen behind me so that we could cast some images behind me that reflected what the song was about.
So when you were putting this together, having the green screen, having all the images and everything, what was the program that you used to edit all this?
What I do is I shoot all these separate videos, and then I send them to my friend, and he does them on Final Cut.
Final Cut Pro, baby! I love Final Cut.
That's right. And he's very good with that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, and the other thing was, because I do some acting work, I had some costumes, so I dressed up in, as a cowboy and as Thomas Jefferson with a fake wig, just to make it fun. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna place you on a brief hold. We're gonna play this song, and when we come back, we have got more. It's John Michael Hersey. It is his latest here on our big program. It is called "Everybody Wants It Now," and as Dave Bautista used to say years and years ago, give it to me right now. I want it right now. And the video is amazing. If you get a chance, find it on the old YouTubes.
Everybody wants it now, right away, some way, somehow. Everybody wants it now. Everybody wants it now. Everybody wants it now. Tell them no, they have a cow. Everybody wants it now. Listen, mister, what you want from me? You know I'm just one man. Everything cannot be a priority. Make a choice, come up with a plan. Everybody wants it now. Everybody wants it now. Beat the horse and speed the plow. Everybody wants it now. No one's ever willing to wait. Everybody's in a rush, pushing just like cattle through a narrow gate, caught up in a crowded crush. Tell me what's the hurry, tell me what's your worry. Do you think that life is a race? When you reach the finish line, you may own a gold mine, but you can't take it with you to that final place.
That is John Michael Hersey. Everybody wants it now. We're going to go back live to John. He is going to join us back here on our big program. Everybody wants it now. John Michael Hersey back with us here on our big broadcast. So the music video is pretty fantastic. I like the way that your guy put that whole thing together, and I do like the outfits. I was where in the world did you find some of these goddamn outfits that you had in this video, man?
Well, I was in a play here recently in the New York area. It was called Common Sense, and it was about Thomas Paine. I don't know if you know your.
That's right. That's right.
History. Right. And so recently I played Thomas Paine, but before that I played Thomas Jefferson. And so they gave me the whole costume. They gave me the wig and the clothes from, the time. And so I said, hey, can I borrow this for the video? So that's where I got that.
That's awesome.
And then the cowboy stuff. I took a trip out to New Mexico, and I just got myself a hat and some clothes. I just kind of like the whole look of it.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest of the studio. John Michael Hersey is with us. He joins us live here on our big program. So you have got a lot of great music out there. You have done some really, really cool stuff. What was the first instrument that you learned how to play?
I think the first thing where I really messed around, as a very young kid, was the piano. Because the piano was easy. It was the easiest thing to get a sound out of. You just sit down and, hit a key or two. And I always tell the story that my father had taken me to some music store, and I sat down and just started playing the piano, just getting lost in playing the notes. And I looked up, and the guy, I guess, who ran the store was just sort of smiling at me. And I think that sort of positive reinforcement led me on my path to be a musician. But soon after that, I was so into the Beatles that I just wanted to be like them, and I had to get a guitar. So I started taking guitar lessons at the age of 10, I think, or 11.
That's awesome. That is pretty fantastic. It is John Michael Hersey with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast. So what is next for you as an artist now that this is out there and you're, promoting it and all these various things?
Well, I'm already working on another one. I'm already started laying tracks for the next album, which will probably come out next spring. And I hope to do some touring next summer, playing some festivals, and kind of working on booking things right now. So that's my plan is to get out there and play and have lots of fun.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for making some time for us today. Before we let you go, how do people find your music and everything that you've got going online?
Well, the first place would be johnmichaelhersey.com, my website, which just says everything you need to know. It has everything about my music and my acting and everything. And then, of course, my YouTube channel, J.M. Hersey, is the name of it, I guess. And I got lots of videos on there, live music or just my catalog. And, of course, there's all the other places you find music on the internet, Spotify and all the rest.
Good stuff. Well, I really appreciate you making time for us today. Thanks for coming on and chatting, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I
appreciate it, brother. Thank you. There he goes. That's John Michael Hersey with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast. So we are going to go to our next guest. I believe they are in a different Skype call, which is strange to me. But I think they're in a different Skype call. So we are going to have to go to last week's Skype call and see if we can get our next guest in here. So we're going to go to our next guest. He's going to join us live here on our big broadcast. And how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you, JD?
I am here. I am making it work. There is all sorts of craziness that has been going on in my world.
Give me the deets.
Oh, oh. Well, I do a lot of, I guess that you would say, I guess in the world of music or TV or whatever the hell you want to refer to it, I do some moonlighting, and apparently a whole bunch of people. Well, we're not going to say a whole bunch of people. One guy decided that he had to go dig it up. And he spread it all over the place, and he was like, oh, my God, I can't believe what Jiggy's doing. And the thing that gets me is that here's the thing. If I didn't want it out there, I wouldn't have posted it online.
There you go.
So, that's the long and short of it, as they say. But I want to talk about what you guys have been up to. You have been doing some amazing stuff with the music and getting it out there and making it all work. Talk to us a little bit about all the various stuff, because you've been busy, my friend, over this summer.
Yeah, we had actually a song from 2020 suddenly landed at #1 in an Australian indie music chart. And what really boggled our minds with it, the song is Worthless Signature, and it's over 8.5 minutes long. And we had never sent it out as a single. I mean, it's just a deep cut. It's one of our harder songs because my bandmate Alan is more into metal music. And so this is one of our harder songs. And the fun tale behind Worthless Signature is we recorded that album, Sunshine on Lava, in a cabin in the Colorado Rockies. And I am a notoriously early riser. And I get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. So by the time we were about to record the vocals for Worthless Signature, where Alan's screaming at times in it, I was ready for my nap. And so I just kind of laid back in a chair and I fell asleep. And Alan's, the microphone, we're just in this cabin. He's like 10 feet away. So he's singing the softer parts at first. And I'm sleeping right through it. I don't even know what's going on. And finally, he's like, well, I got to do the screaming parts. We only have a few days here in the cabin to record. So he's doing all the screaming parts of Worthless Signature. I slept right through it. One of the all-time great power naps in rock history.
Yes, that is amazing.
Anyway, with Worthless Signature unexpectedly going to #1 on that small chart in Australia, we decided to send it out to stations around the world, and it's now become our third most played song, and nearly 200 stations have played it. It's got a ton of airplay, and it's been a lot of fun to see that song have kind of its coming out party. In the meantime, we're getting our next album, our third album, ready for release, hopefully by the end of this year, if not the end of this year, early next year. And Alan does all the mixing, and so he's been sending me some early mixes of some of the songs. And one of the songs, the first line is, got a lot of money and I just jerked off. And I assumed it was going to be a deep cut.
Son of a bitch.
Our first single.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so that one, it's called America
Got a lot of
#1.
money. And then,
That might be our first single.
I love it. I'll tell you. What is it's always so fun when we have you on the show, because you've got all sorts of things happening, and a lot of times the things that you have happening are some of the things that are happening to me, and it is just so much fun. So this line should be on a t-shirt. This line should be reenacted in a video on Pornhub. This line should be all over the place. We are going to be getting ready to go out to New Jersey, of all places.
That's where I'm originally from.
Oh, you're originally from the New Jersey area. That's awesome. We're getting ready to go to Edison, of all places, in 4 weeks, 5 weeks for the pod convention as they call it. And we are going to be hanging out with all of our fun porn friends. I would love to get a copy of that line from that song. And there are 2 porn people that I know that I could get them to imagine that and act out that line, and we'll use the audio underneath it. It would be perfect.
Well, I will talk with Alan.
Talk with Alan and send it. And if you guys can, send it my way. I will. If they put it together, which, like I said, I'll get to the producer and we'll make sure that gets put together. And we'll send you guys the copy.
Awesome.
You guys, if you want to, I don't know if you could edit over that and put that on YouTube. I don't know, but you've got to have some use for this. Talk to your people. Get in touch with me. Let's make this happen because I think this would be amazing.
Oh, I will talk to my person. Yes, I don't have people. I have a person. That's the band
Your
name.
person. That's right. So, besides this thing catching fire in Australia, and also I guess before we go to that, what the hell was that like when all that went down for you?
A fun surprise. We've had a number of songs do well on some smaller charts around the world. This one, it was just out of the blue because the other songs we've had that have charted are songs we have sent out as singles.
Yes.
And so they start picking up airplay and all. But this one, some DJ just started playing the song and it caught on. And
those goddamn
so it kind of took off from
DJs.
there, which...
Those goddamn DJs, they're always starting trouble out there.
Curse you, DJ!
Curse you, DJ. That's right. And by DJ, I mean Dwayne Johnson. The Rock. So besides all this, what else have you guys been up to lately?
For myself personally, my 4th novel was just released. It's called Laureen's Salon, and it was a lot of fun to write because I wrote it from the perspective of a 38-year-old woman living in the Deep South in 1958. And so it's I don't know, it's really long. It's much longer
really
than
long,
my
he
other 2
says. That's
novels
awesome.
put together. She's pretty irreverent, and her name's Mabel, and the whole novel is her talking to Laureen, her beautician, as she's gossiping about what's going on around town and talking about fat kids and cooking and all kinds of stuff, whatever comes to your mind.
Tell you, I love fat kids and cooking. That is primarily a deal. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna put you on a brief hold. We're gonna take a quick little time out. When we come back, we're gonna keep chatting. But I've got to take this time out. But we are going to take a brief time out with our guest. We are going to go over here because I think we have something happening over on Skype on the other call. So we are going to go over to the other call and figure out just what the fuck is going on over there. There's a guest user, and they've joined over on Skype. And I'm going to go over it and see what happens. I don't know what is happening over there. But we're going to see. We're going to get things going. Hello, guys. How are you guys? We have a fast and furious Sunday radio show here. I am just wrapping things up with our other guest. I'm going to place you guys on a brief hold here. I'll be back with you here in about a minute and a half. And we're going to rock and roll and do the damn thing and ferrets and jello fights and all the crap that I say. Give me a minute and a half. I'll be right back with you guys. Just hold here. We are going to go back over here to NSK, and we are going to get them wrapped up on the other side over here. And then we are going to go to our new guests that we have. Apparently, Blacktop Rodeo is joining us. So we are going to go back to our guest. He is with us. He is live. He is live and direct. He is kicking ass and taking names and all this stuff. And ferrets and jello fights and all the stuff. So Glenn, talk to us a little bit more about this book. You were giving us a little bit more details. Tell us more about the book here.
Yeah, it started off, I was in Texas visiting with family, and one of my nieces who was in high school, she had just bought this like really gaudy yellow fingernail polish. And before she wanted to put it on herself, she's like, "Can I try it on you to see if it looks okay?" I'm like, "Well, okay." So I put my hand out, and as soon as she started painting my hand, I just like took on this other persona. I'm like, "I tell you what, Laureen, kids have gotten so fat these days." And for like the next half hour, she's working on my nails. I just kept vamping as this.
That's what they do in radio. Get vamping. There you go.
Yeah, and my niece, Caitlin, she's like, "You need to do a podcast with this woman. She's awesome." And so I thought about that, and I thought, oh, gosh, I don't want to have to do something every week. That's too much work.
Yeah, that's bull.
And so I just started typing, and it started turning into a novel, and it took me a little while to really settle into it, about 60 to 80 pages. Once I did, it just started flowing, and I ended up loving it. I've been rereading it just recently because it'd been a year and a half almost since I looked at it. I'm enjoying it more than I remember. So I'm really happy with that. You know, it's just this Southern woman who's a bit irreverent. She talks about her husband. Her husband's afraid to give her sons the talk, so she's got to give her teenage sons the talk, which is maybe my favorite chapter. And and then there's a murder that occurred in the town, the first one in a couple decades, and so she forms a friendship with one of the deputies to get the inside scoop that she's always sharing with her hairstylist, her beautician. So that's kind of a little narrative thread that runs through it as that unravels a bit. But it's mostly Mabel just being irreverent and speaking whatever's on her mind at the time.
That is amazing. So you just we're going along, and all of a sudden, here's this character out of nowhere.
Pretty much, yeah. It just seemed natural.
It's amazing.
If I'm having my nails done, I must be in a salon or something. And and people, when they're at the salon, they talk with their beauticians. I assume I have had a couple pedicures. Okay, I will admit to that.
That's
but
awesome.
I've never had a manicure like a regular.
Hey, I hear that former, I guess we would say maybe he's still a Vince McMahon ally, Bruce Pritchard. He raves on his podcast constantly about pedicures. So, yeah, pedicures,
yeah,
manicures.
I've had 2 of them. I ended up proposing to the woman both times.
Yes, that is amazing. That is amazing. So, this book, what are you hoping people get out of the book?
Well, I'm marketing it as Kate Chopin meets Kurt Vonnegut. And Kate Chopin was the Southern writer from the late 1800s, early 1900s. And she tackled a lot of early feminist issues, which I do a bit through the Mabel character. So maybe people can see like kind of the history of the early feminist movement a little bit. I was a history major as an undergrad, so I loved researching the novel. I love setting my novels, in the 50s and 60s. And so hopefully they will get some of that. There's actually some history in it. I get into Elvis Presley a lot because the main character, Mabel, has a big crush on Elvis Presley, and she wishes she was 15 years younger.
That's awesome.
That she and Elvis might be, And but then also, too, it's Kate Chopin meets Kurt Vonnegut. I love Kurt Vonnegut and his dark humor and how he can tend to put a little dark spin on so many issues. And Mabel tends to do that. So hopefully people get some laughs out of it as well with those dark humor twists that she throws in from time to time.
That's awesome. Speaking of Elvis, I seen and I'm probably going to have to go back and watch it now because it's just like, what? I was browsing around on the old YouTubes, and apparently someone had done an AI-generated Star Trek trailer, and Elvis is in there as Dr. McCoy. I don't understand this. But you said Elvis, and I'm like, the door opened in my head, as Catolo likes to say. If the door's open in your head, don't shut them, just lean them closed. This book, talk to me a little bit about your writing process for the book.
Typically, I write really early in the morning. I might go for a walk, or I have an exercise bike, get some exercising in, start throwing some thoughts through my head for what's coming up next. And then I like to get a quick shower and shave, and then get to writing when it's still dark out and the world's quiet, and I can pour myself into it. I'm working on a novel right now called When Things Get Interesting that I'm about 80,000 words into, and this one takes place in 1962. And it's told from the perspective of a kid who's just graduated from high school, who's dating an older woman. And so, yeah, for me, it's really cool when it's still dark out, the world's still pretty much asleep, to throw myself into this world and see what happens, see what the characters have to say. And for me, the process, the part that's so much fun is when sometimes a character says something I had no idea they were going to say. And I don't want to give any spoilers for when things got interesting. But the female lead in it, at one point, I had no idea this was going to happen. And she's having a conversation with the male lead. And I just suddenly typed a line like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that is who she is. And so, yes, it was, for me, it's like she just revealed herself to me, it felt like, because the line just came out of nowhere and said a lot about her. So I don't know. I kind of like to get in the mood and then kind of let the characters hopefully take over and tell me who they are.
That's awesome. Well, before we let you go, how do we get this book?
The new one, Laureen Salon, it's on Amazon. Just look up Laureen Salon, look up my name, Glenn Burgetts. You can find that book there. My other 3 novels are there as well. Or you can go to the Solstice Publishing website. Solstice Publishing is the publishing company that has released the book.
Fantastic. Well, keep me updated on everything, and keep me speak to your person, as you say, and send me an email. Keep me updated, and if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, that's fine too. The ideas pop in my head, and I got to toss them out there.
I'll do that.
All right, Glenn. Well, I will talk to you soon. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday, my man.
All right, be well, Jiggy.
Appreciate it, brother. There he goes. That is our good friend there, Glenn Burgetts. We are going to go back to our original Skype call here. I love this. We are going to go back to our guests. They join us live here on our big broadcast, and it is a topsy-turvy day. I am, of course, Jigman Freud, we'll just do it old school, the master debater, the cunning linguist, and the admiral of alliteration. All apologies, of course, to the fantastic Tom Likas. And you're joining us. That's right. You're joining us live. Jiggy Jaguar Experience, BitChute, Rumble, Clout Hub, YouTube, all the various places. Twitching on the Twitch. And, of course, you can find us at kjagradio.com. And we've got 2 great guests with us today. They join us live here on our big broadcast. And if you're watching us on video, holy smokes. These guys, they've got this background. I can't even, I love the guitars on the walls. I love the posters. The Anthrax t-shirt got over with me. All sorts of things. Gentlemen, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Johnny O. I sing for the band Salem's Child.
I'm James. I'm just the bass player, man.
I'm just the bass player. That's it. I'm just the bass player. So, well, at least you're not like the drummer. I always see these drummer memes on the internet.
Yeah, man. We couldn't.
People are always beating the shit out of drummers. I don't know why that is.
Well, we're trying to stick up to the drums, man.
So, it's a weird deal. But give us a brief history on Salem's Child. Tell us a bit about this. Great band.
Well, Salem's Child's been around for close to 30 years now. Rob and I started writing music together back in '96. We've gone through several lineup changes, but when we kind of came back together about 8 or 9 years ago, we really kind of solidified what would become what Salem's Child is now. And then when we went into the studio to do The Sin That Saves You, the album that we released in 20, we brought Johnny in here, and man, just sky's the limit from there, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how did you end up in the band there, Johnny?
Well, I was living in Texas, and for since about 2012 to 2019, and I decided to move back to Indiana because my mother and father were kind of getting up there in age, and there wasn't a whole heck of a lot happening in Texas. And I, thought I'd move home to do all the right things for all the right reasons. And I had just basically started getting into Facebook, didn't really know how to navigate it all that well. And all these people are tagging me, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And it says that the band Salem's Child is looking for a vocalist. And one of the guys that I knew as a friend, Roy Harper, that tagged me, I got a hold of him on Messenger, and I was like, what is this? He said, yeah, dude, Scott Early's in the band, our drummer, and I've been in 2 other bands with him. And I thought, well, if Scott's in it, it's not a BS band. And I really didn't know any more than that. And I had to make a decision, are you going to get back into music hot and heavy? And I thought, well, all right, sure, here's my phone number. And 30 seconds later, the guitar player, Rob Salem, calls me, and he's like, dude, I didn't know you were back in state yet. I knew you were coming back, but I didn't know when. I said, well, I'm back. And
I'm back.
Yeah. He said, here's Johnny. Yeah.
That's right. That's right, baby.
I went over to his house, I think maybe that night, and improv'd over some of the music, just the music that they had, no vocals. Yeah. And he was looking at a good buddy of all of ours, Scott Pretorius, and they were both like, oh yeah, we need to bring him back. So I went to their jam room, and I with more music that I had familiarized myself with, and threw down on it, and it was different from what they were used to. It was very screamy, very growly, very aggressive. There wasn't a whole lot of singing in it.
There wasn't a whole lot of singing in it. That's awesome.
Yeah, there was some singing in it. And the next thing I knew, I had gotten the part. I was in the band for 2 months. We cut The Sin That Saves You, shot the video for The Sin That Saves You. The next thing you know, Pavement Entertainment is like, hey, can we see some more? We were like, hey, sure. And we ended up signing with Pavement Entertainment.
Wow.
Had the press release, and then guess what? COVID-19 hit. Couldn't do nothing for a year and a half.
That's right.
So we I don't want to say we broke the rules.
No, we didn't break any rules. No rules broken at all. We don't do that. We don't break rules.
But we did shoot 9 videos.
Hey, you
we
know,
6 feet apart.
I seen a gimmick the other day on TV that apparently during COVID, the guy who was telling everyone in New York City to social distance and wear masks was going to cocaine-fueled sex parties underground where they were cramming 200 people into like a subway.
Hey.
It's a good gig if you can get it, man.
So I think you guys shooting a couple fucking music videos is fine.
Good, man.
We shot every video for every song that there was on the Sin That Saves You release.
Right.
And then finally, when the veil on, okay, you can go start playing and attending concerts again. That is when we jumped on a tour with the legendary band Doyle.
That's awesome.
And,
Yeah, man.
it was awesome. It was a killer experience. Those guys are awesome, good people. And knowing that you're literally warming up the stage for a music legend, it's almost surreal, man. It's like, you know.
That is great. So
Do it all over again with Venom Inc.
so tell me a little bit about Through Fire.
One more time, bud.
Yeah.
Through Fire.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, the song Through Fire, I came to Rob with an idea about a friend of mine that is struggling with drug addiction.
Okay.
And about what can you do about all of this? I mean, it was what was on my head right now, because it was very frustrating to me to see a friend going through this and know that there wasn't anything that I could do about it,
Yeah.
And we developed the song Through Fire, being the kind of a source of strength behind, because whatever it may be, whatever opposition in life or demons that you must face,
Yep.
walk through the fire and take care of it. Hit it like
is
this,
amazing.
not like this.
That is
The only
amazing.
way over is through. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. The only way to get from one side of hell to the other, through fire.
That is amazing. Well, let's do this. We're going to place you guys on a brief hold. We're going to play this track. And
Great.
when we come back, we will keep chatting with the band. It is Through Fire, and we are going to it right now here on our big broadcast. You're joining us coast to coast and boulder to boulder, as they say. Get a hold of us online over there at jiggyjaguar.com. Salem's Child. And it's Through Fire.
One chance, one breath to make the choice to redefine the world that you know. Reject the lies they fed to you. Embrace the all-consuming truth. Reclaim the life you lost when you lit another fuse. Through fire, your strength will carry you. Hold fast to what you know is true. Stand tall. There's nothing left to lose. Keep faith. The fire that's inside of you. Dead God cannot punish you. Reborn. Rise and follow through. Life is only what you choose. Through fire. Faith burns, hope dies. Now make the choice to join the fight, or throw it all away. Hold on to all that sets you free. Cast off the crown that made you bleed. Throw down the overlord that tempted you with pain. Through fire, your strength will carry you. Hold fast to what you know is true. Stand tall. There's nothing left to lose. Keep faith. The fire that's inside of you. Dead God cannot punish you. Reborn. Rise and follow through. Life
that was pretty badass. That is pretty badass. That is Salem's Child. That is Through Fire. We are going to go back to them. They are going to join us here, back live here on our big program. Salem's Child, of course, they are just amazing. That song was like a ferret and jello fight. Love the hell out of that thing. I
don't know where's one of that. That's great.
Tell us a little bit about your production process. How you guys, once it's written, how do you guys put this together with the band?
Man, that's a really good question. We kind of went away from our normal process with this album on the virtue of the fact that kind of going into the pre-production process, we had like 23, 24 songs almost completely demoed out.
Yep.
Wow.
And so it became a process of elimination of, what songs are we going to work on as a group to try and refine and make into this next album. And, honestly, this time around, choosing the songs for the album was a lot easier because we had so many to choose from, because we could find the right 8 or 9 that just felt like they belonged together. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We it took a minute. I mean, we came out with The Sin That Saves You in 2020, and you would think that 4 years is a long time to come out with another one, and we actually started working on the material a lot sooner than what we released. We were going kind of the same direction of The Sin That Saves You, with heavy growling and screaming and stuff. And then I got to thinking about when we were on tour with Doyle, and there was the majority of people that would come up and talk to me after the shows. They were like, well, you can scream and you can growl, but you can sing, and I want to hear more of that. So I kind of put not the brakes or the kibosh on the direction, but I wanted to explore actually taking vocals in a more melodic direction to where it would possibly reach a broader audience. And I took that to the guys in the band and said, I know we have this and this and this and this and this. Said, but this is kind of what I want to start doing. And the guys were all about it. They were like, fucking hey, do it. So,
well, in truth, my initial reaction was, so we're not going heavier? And then I heard what he was doing, and I was like, oh man, that's so much heavier, but it's clean. It's just good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we had to, and that's why we had so many songs to choose from, because we had all of these heavy songs. I mean, that, not to say that they're ditched or we're putting them on the back burner or anything, but we took the new style, if you will, and said, this is what we need to put out. This is what the industry, as far and the public, this is what people have been waiting for,
Yeah.
So this is kind of our take on that.
Yeah. So we went with it, found the pretty, I'd say 8. We found 8 songs that really fit well together.
Yeah.
And then there was one that was on the heavier side of life. And when we played a one-off show with some really close buddies of mine, by the way of Pissing Razors. And I have been friends with Joe from Pissing Razors since he and I were 19 years old.
Wow.
And I said, man, I really want to bring Joe in and have him collab on a song. And what we're doing with the melodic, that's not going to work. We need to take one of the other heavier songs and pick which one we want to send him to sing on it. And that turned into The Reaping. And he sent us the vocals back, and we loved it.
Yeah, we knew that was the one.
That was definitely the one. And once all the music was done for that, all but say gang vocals.
Yeah.
We flew him out to Indiana to shoot the video for The Reaping, and we went into our jam hall, and we were messing with The Reaping, and James busted out the microphone, and we all nailed all of the gang vocals. There was everybody in the band plus my buddy Joe.
Yeah, so he's on all the gang vocals.
So he's on all the gang
album
vocals.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we shot the video, and it was awesome fun. And turns out that we are actually going to be touring with Pissing Razors here very soon, the month of October.
Wow.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
That's awesome.
Yep.
In 3 weeks, I'm going to be in Edison, New Jersey, I believe, at the porn convention.
Nice.
So,
Well, you're going to be having just as much fun as we are.
I think you
Let's
guys are
hope
going to be
so.
having more fun.
Well, you know.
Being out there kicking ass, taking names, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure you could probably get your ass kicked at a porn convention.
Oh yeah,
There's
every single time we go to one of these porn conventions, my significant other always has to take me over to the dominatrixes, and they always have to beat my ass. So yeah, we have videos of that shit all over the goddamn internet. We did one. Was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, in Chicago at the porn convention. And we had two of my porn buddies call Play by Play, and she and my significant other, the lovely and talented Britannia, she filmed it, and we had this chick, this BDSM chick named Pagan the Stallion. She took what I can only describe as a boat oar, and had me bend over, and then, took it to me, and she's like,
have another, huh?
she's like, bend over, and you're gonna have to grab your knees
Snuggle struggle.
because I will probably lift you off the ground. So
before this interview takes a completely different turn, how do we get into the porn industry? How do we do this?
Hey, I'll tell you, where are you guys located?
We're in Central Indiana.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Yes.
Would Chicago next April be in your vicinity, or would it be better to do New Jersey?
Chicago, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, touch base with me in February, and I am going to see if I could get you guys a couple press passes to get in
That would be
to the
amazing.
goddamn porn convention, and you can go hang out with me and the rest of the crew. Big Will and all.
Oh, yeah.
Let me know. I'll be in touch with you guys as we go through. But yes, I would love to have you guys. What would be great is if you guys could, because the convention is like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What you guys should do is you guys should come out one day for the porn convention, and then you guys should see if there's like local bars or something somewhere near there, and just get a gig.
There we go.
And just do a gig while you're in town.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I always. It's like as Jim Ross always likes to say, maximize your minutes.
There you
know,
go. Yeah,
if you're-
absolutely. Let us know moves.
If you're gonna be in the area for the old porn convention, you might as well. And also, if you guys get there, I think it'd be Thursday. Maybe not. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Thursday night they do this like this. I don't know what the hell this thing is. They call it a mixer. I just call it getting the porn stars drunk on free alcohol at the hotel bar.
There you go. Everybody's still fresh.
But that's pretty much what they do.
Right.
It's like Flair used to say, hotel bar, 18 to 29, no husbands, no boyfriends, all that. Woo, that's right, baby. And then take your Rolex off and throw it in a bowl of spaghetti. But he has lost more Rolexes by just throwing those things away. But yeah, that would be the ideal thing. You guys get a gig in because it's in Rosemont, Illinois, of all places.
Okay.
Get a gig in Rosemont, and then like a day before or the day after, come out for the goddamn porn convention. It'd be a blast.
Yeah, I think we ought to do that.
We had a band that I used to do that with, and I think they broke up a couple years ago. But we used to do that all the time. I had this one band, and they would show up every year and get them fucking passes to the porn convention. They'd go in, hang out. I'd introduce them to all the.
Band that could get me passes to a porn convention, I would never break up.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I would introduce them with to some of the people that were at the convention, and it is like a whole nother world. It's a whole nother world.
And you hope so. You kind of hope that.
There was one year they held the porn convention in this spot in Chicago where they hold it every year. But this convention center had the porn convention upstairs, and downstairs was tattoo convention.
Oh, cool.
So everybody was just like this intermingling.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, you'd think that'd be a very happy partnership.
It'd be great.
Up every year.
We went out to the AVNs one year in Vegas, and they had the electronics, the consumer electronics show, and the porn convention was all in the same spot. So you had all these guys who were wearing suits, who were working, and then they were sneaking down to hang out with the porn stars. And I'm like, you can only like play on your phones and fly the goddamn drone so long before you need to go down and see the porn girls.
That was not an accidental booking.
Yeah, no doubt. It was no coincidence. All of the nerds knew all the porn stars' names.
That's right. That is amazing. So when does this? How long does this Pissing Razors tour take place?
This is a short run. It's a 2-week run, 14 days. It'll be starting on the 11th.
Okay.
And it starts out in Haltom City, and then we go the 12th to Oklahoma City, the 13th to Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas, of all places. When the world are you going to be? I got to look at this. I got to look at this date here. When in the world are you going to be in Wichita, Kansas? What is the date?
When?
This is the 13th. The
13th
of October.
13th of October.
October 13th. Okay, I will.
Yes, sir.
Sir, who walked in behind me? Get me. Shoot me an email a little bit later when we're done with the interview. Let me know all the details because I want to come down and do a video interview with you guys before that show.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sweet.
I would love to come down and do a video interview with you guys and shoot some photos of the show. Whole 9 yards. I think that would be a fucking blast. Where is this? Where are you guys playing when you play in Wichita?
Oh,
You
that's
have
a good question. That's a good question. I will try and find that for you real quick.
Because that would be
That's going to be Barleycorns.
John Barleycorns.
Barleycorns.
I love
Exactly.
Barleycorns. Yes. Yeah. Get with me because I want to come to this thing. I want to come
Absolutely.
see you guys in person. I'll bring fucking Big Will and the whole 9 yards, and we'll
Nice.
do a.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
I might even just for the hell of it. I might even break out the fucking what the hell kind of suit would I wear to something like this? I would wear either the rainbow suit or I might wear my disco ball outfit with my disco ball
there you
cowboy
go.
hat
All right.
and the
As
shades.
long as you got your shit kickers
This
on,
will be
there
the
you go.
perfect opportunity to pick up my new shades. That there is a guy in Wichita. His what the hell is his name? He's the shade guy. That's all I know. And he makes
Okay.
these.
I think
He
it's
makes
basketball.
he makes disco ball shades. And what
Oh,
they are is they're
yeah.
like safety goggles, but he cuts up old CDs. And he glues them to these fucking thing. It looks like a fucking disco ball. It looks like fucking disco ball glasses.
Okay.
And I've got those, and then I've got a matching cowboy hat, which is strange. I don't know why. And then I have a disco ball suit.
Okay.
And we may either do that or the rainbow outfit, one of the two. The rainbow outfit seems to be over as well. But
Al, I was going to recommend an asbestos suit and a Viking helmet. You know, you're getting laid tonight.
that would be fantastic. I might see if I could find a Viking helmet. I'd like to get a helmet like the fucking guy that stormed during January 6th. That guy, the shaman. I want to get a shaman helmet. I want to get that going.
Yeah.
That dude is horny.
That guy.
That's right.
That guy.
There are so many ways I can go with this, but I need to just shut the fuck up.
We have got a great couple guests with us today. Salem's Child with us today. They join us live here on our big broadcast. So, how do we get a hold of you guys online? Where is the best spot to find your music and everything that you guys are involved in?
Man, you can get all of our links and all the news and all the latest information at www.salemschild.com.
Fantastic. Salem's Child with an E.
All of our
You need to have the E on there, kids.
Everything.
That's how the whole thing works. It's got
But you can get our music off of every major platform.
Awesome. Salem's Child with us today. Join us live here on our big broadcast. So we are going to do this. We're going to play some more music from these guys because this is fantastic. So tell me a little bit about. We're going to play this here in a few, and this is like according to the old YouTubes. This is a year ago since you guys put this up. But what the hell is the Oracle in Scarlet?
Okay. Hey, this is all you, man. You were just talking about this
All
song.
right.
What the hell is this?
Actually, in Scarlet, the Oracle is pretty much a musical interlude to the song in Scarlet, and
Okay.
The lyrics it's self-explanatory.
Okay.
You know, it's you're the whole story behind this sin that saves you. It is a journey of trying to find yourself, losing yourself, going down in the depths where you figure out that rock bottom has even got a basement. Rebuilding, rebuilding, relearning, recovering, and then all of a sudden you become reborn.
That sounds like my 2024. We are going to do this. We are going to put these guys on a brief hold. We're going to play this track. When we come back, we will have more coming up with Salem's Child here on our big program. And here it is on your big broadcast. Okay, that's Salem's Child with an E, by the way. We are going to go back to Salem's Child. They are going to join us here on our big program. So that song, at least on YouTube, along with the interlude and all the stuff, is an incredibly long song. How does that do with folks? Because it seems like people don't have attention spans anymore.
And you're not wrong. You're not wrong, man. That really is one of the reasons why we took a different approach with Unbound this time around.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at the track listing, I don't think there's a track longer than 5 minutes on that song.
No.
Or on that album. So, it's really kind of more geared for, the internet culture, the shorter attention spans, the folks who want to stream it song by song rather than download the whole album.
Yeah. Yep. Completely.
There's things we've learned kind of along the way because, previously we'd kind of taken the old school approach of, people are consuming albums as entire, pieces of work, and that's just not happening very much anymore.
No, not at all. Yeah, like you said, James. I mean, they go by the popularity of a band as a song by song basis now, and whether you like it or you don't, it is what it is, and you kind of you roll with it, and you when it ebbs, it ebbs. When it flows, it flows. You got high tide or low tide.
Just ride it.
Just ride it out. You know what I mean? If that's the direction that the public likes or is getting into, you gotta give the people what they want.
That's right. It's kind of like good old Bill O'Reilly used to say, tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain it.
That's right.
So, which realistically you can't explain it. It's simple philosophy of how the earth moves, Bill, but whatever. This is also the same guy who worked in TV for how many goddamn years, and when they said to play us out, he's like, I don't know what it means to play us out. So it's like simple stuff. But so one of the things I never got a chance to ask you guys during this interview is, who are some of your musical heroes and influences?
Oh, that's gonna vary depending on which one of us you ask, really.
Oh, yeah.
I've pulled a lot of my musical influences from guys like, Justin Chancellor from Tool, Tony Levin, who's played with like King Crimson and Peter Gabriel and all kinds of other acts, throughout the years, and a lot of what we're influenced by, I think, comes through in the music or whatnot, but hopefully we just don't sound like those bands. I think Rob, for example, is influenced a lot heavier by, some of the old school shredders. He's a big Chris Oliva from Sabotage fan. And I think, on this album, he really kind of harnessed a lot of stuff from like Testament and Machine Head and things like that.
That's awesome.
And really kind of threw those influences at the album. Little Gojira in there for a tasty little, kind of prog metal flavor here and there.
See, yeah, I mean, when I came in, it took a completely different direction because my influences were right off the bat Phil Anselmo from Pantera, and some even female influences. Ann Wilson from the band Heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and taking my musical influences. I spent a lot of time in Texas, so the Kyle Thomas from Exhorder, as far as vocals go, and Joe Rodriguez of the band Pissing Razors.
Hell yeah!
That's awesome.
For a lot of the heavier, and then like I said, of course, man, for the heavier, there was Phil from Pantera that was way up here for me. Still is. and it was for many years and still is.
That's awesome. Well, gentlemen, before we let you guys go, how do we get in touch with you guys online, social media, and then we'll go to our next guest?
So it's going to be, / Salem's Child for Facebook, for Instagram, for YouTube, or you can get all of the links to all of our socials at the very top of the www.salemschild.com page. Also have a link to our merch page and a link, I think, to all of the streaming sites that are currently streaming the albums.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, gentlemen, keep in touch with me. I definitely want to talk to you guys in Wichita when you come through. That would be
absolutely. We'll see you in Wichita, and then we'll discuss February a little bit.
And then we will discuss the porn convention and all the shit. So,
even if it's dark, all I got to do is look for the guy with the Viking helmet on.
That's right. I'll have the Viking helmet, the rainbow suit, and the whole 9 yards. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. We're going to go to our next guest. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, definitely. There they go. That's Salem's Child, and they join us today here on our big broadcast. So we are going to go to Billy Vaughn and crew. Billy, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
We're pretty good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, actually. So go ahead and give us a brief introduction on your guys. Tell me about the band, the whole 9 yards there.
Well, we're Shining Force, man. We've been around over probably a little over 20 years.
Yep.
Trying to do ministry through music. We started this initially to start playing in churches, but then got invited to play at clubs because the music was heavy. So they liked what we had. And when we went in there, I initially told the people in these clubs, hey, we play what we play. We're not going to change our lyrics for anybody because it's Christian based, and that's the way we're going to leave it. So, they were all good with that. So we went ahead and started doing that, and we just kind of expanded out, so to say, to different venues. So we've been still doing the same thing we did before. We just changed the music up a little bit heavier than what it was when we originally started.
Yeah.
And,
that is awesome.
This is Abel. He's the new vocalist for Shining Force.
Fantastic. So, how did the band get started? How did everybody get to where they are in the band?
Well, I started the band back in 1995, man. I had a vision from God, so to say. I was sitting down watching this program, and all of a sudden I heard like a voice talk to my head and said, hey, you need to do a park rally. I never knew how to do a park rally, so I called up a friend of mine, and I said, hey, God told me to do a park rally. So I started inviting other musicians to come and play with us. And we kind of put some songs together, went out, did this park rally, and some people got saved. And I said, well, this is what I need to be doing. So we continued doing that, which back in that day, I had a guy named Paul that was my vocalist at the time, Ray Gonzalez on guitar, another guy named Jose Chavez on bass. And the drummer, I went to a few drummers, but the first drummer I had was Rudy.
Yes.
And Rudy finally passed away. Jose passed away. But that's how the band actually started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we have got Shining Force with us today. They join us live. Our next guests are going to be joining us here in just a few moments as well. With the band, you guys... I think it's amazing that you guys started out in churches and then you ended up in like bars. That is amazing to me.
That sounds pretty Catholic from my point of view.
Yes.
Just
Giovanni, come in here. You might as well interview the band before we get to the porn stars.
yes.
So we've got my co-host for our next show we're going to be doing here in a few moments called Fucking Around with Porn Stars. And so you guys in Shining Force started out playing in churches because of the music being,
Right.
religious based. And then you end up getting invited to being in bars. And then you told all these club owners and all these, as I should say, these miscreant club owners. We're not going to change our tone. We're not changing our lyrics, any of that. How did that go over?
Well, it went pretty good. I mean, at first I didn't know what they were going to say, because if they would have said, well, now we can't have you speaking about Jesus or talking about God, we wouldn't have did it, because that's not us. I mean, we're about promoting, God's plan for everybody. So that's the way it actually started with me, and it's been that way. We don't change our lyrics. Our lyrics are what they are. I mean, we're here to minister through music, and that's the basic reason why we started this ministry, is to do that. And as we progressed through this, we just played in a lot bigger places and started meeting a lot more people, just like Tim Ripper Owens. As you can see, he's on our album this time. So we had an opportunity to play a show with him and Sean Peck. And Abel was there at that time. That's kind of how me and Abel kind of met. And from that point, I asked Tim if he would do a song on our CD, and he said yes. And a lot of the people were saying, hey, he's just telling you that just to get you out of his way. But that wasn't true, because he gave me his email address, and when I emailed him, he was down to do the song. So he did that with us. So we met various people too. We had a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of people, and a lot of chances to minister to other people also.
That's awesome.
I think it's interesting that you said that, primarily because if you kind of go through the New Testament, specifically the walk of Christ as he ministered amongst the entirety of the people, I think what's fascinating is that if you look specifically at that, that theological basis, he didn't care who he was ministering. He did not specifically state, I only want to minister to the priest caste. I only want to minister to the wealthy. I only want to minister to already the people who are walking the right path. And definitely didn't like ministering to the hypocrites, but he wanted to convert them. So I do find it useful that you have the venue of heavy metal music to be able to speak and to minister to those who's, maybe they're questioning themselves, maybe they're having challenges, and this is a music style that they like.
Exactly.
This is something that they can embrace. They like the sound, they like the rhythm, they like the chords, they like the thrashing, and you literally are doing essentially the type of ministry that is appropriate for that type of person, similar, I think, to what definitely the apostles did, definitely the first of the disciples who went out amongst the churches and out amongst the world. They went into places and ministered to those in the manner that those people spoke to. You went to the Greeks and you went to the temples of the gods to speak to people outside those temples. You went and similar to the music. Or you have the metal music. All right, so you speak to the people in the method that they like. And I think that is great. So phenomenal and great job on your team for doing that, and as you as artists for embracing both styles. Because I can almost see, and I was kind of curious about this, I don't know if you talked about it already, how do people like Christians who maybe they think, oh, this is inappropriate music for the delivery of the message of Christ, how do you, when they kind of talk about that, what's your response to that sort of message? If they say, hey, this is not Christ-like, or this is not what we want. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, believe it or not, I've had that done to me already a few times. Even with the artwork we presented. So the last CD we had, which was By the Blood, it has some crosses on there and skulls on the bottom. And I've had people, come to me and say, hey, that's not Christian-like. I'm like, well, explain to me why it's not. I said, do you understand what I'm portraying here? And they don't get it. They just think it looks evil. But when I tell them, hey, in the Bible, it talks about Golgotha, this place of the skull. So that's what we were putting on there, and it was by the blood, because it was Jesus' blood that set us free by his crucifixion, so that's what's on that cover. So, and it's just like this new cover we have, with spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual battle. And Abel actually came up with the music for that song. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I think that you have a valid point. If you look at the artists, starting in the area of like Giotto, Cezanne, before you started having 3-point geometric, artistry. If you look back at the old medieval art time, that stuff was pretty evil looking. And I mean, and it was getting the message of Christ across, right? You had people with swords embodying their bodies like, and, but it was a Christian message, right? It was talking about the path and the blood. And so there was a lot of skulls and devils slashing about. So I see it. And good on you for making the case, and good on you for continuously putting the message out there.
Oh, thank you.
So, we've got the drummer here. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
You've been like terribly silent most of this interview.
Oh, I figured I thought I was interrupting him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to start talking, and they're going to be like, well, "Who's this guy
Who's this guy? That's awesome.
crashing the party?"
No, that's that's usually when we won't get into that here because we're on YouTube and I want to keep my YouTube channel. But so talk to me a little bit about getting into the band and being the drummer and everything.
So it's a pretty Billy. Can I tell the whole story?
Go ahead, man. I'm fine.
So when I used to be a drummer a long time ago, so I stopped playing the drums, and when the COVID pandemic hit, I started looking for I had a lot of time in my hands, so I started looking for an opportunity to go back to drumming, and I contacted Billy, who was looking for a drummer at the time, and we started texting back and forth, waiting for the lockdown to be over, and we didn't actually connect physically right after the pandemic ended. They got another drummer in the meantime, but we still communicated. It was meant to be because we still got in touch every once in a while, and then later, hey Billy, are you still looking for a drummer? Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I am. So in November of 22, I was like, well, I'm just gonna jump in, and hey Billy, you want to get together and jam and see if we're a fit for each other, and that's what we did. I came to the studio. I'm in the studio right now, so I came to the studio, played a little bit with him and Roy, a good friend that used to play in the band too, and it was a fit. It was a fit just from the very first time that we played together. We felt like we had been playing for a while. With
That's
me,
awesome.
not ever. I had never played those songs. I used to play metal anyway, but it was click from the start. And then Abel came in. He was already in the band, but I hadn't met him, and we started working together, and it was a fit from the start. And here we are, a year and a half later, and we're jamming. We finished the album. It came out great, and I'm very, very happy to be just spreading the message in the right places. And that's why we go to bars and places like this, to spread the message to the people that might need it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, gentlemen, before we let you guys go, how do we get a hold of you guys on social media, websites, buy your music, get involved with everything you guys are doing?
So we have a Facebook band page, Shining Force, and we have our songs. Some of our songs from the album are actually on YouTube that you can check out. Some of the singles that we released from the album, and you can purchase the album on roxrecords.com.
That's awesome.
Our website,
Excellent.
our website is www.shiningforceband.org.
.org. All right. Okay, that's a good distinction to make. Make sure folks know that because they may put .com. So good. .org for Shining Force Band. All right.
That's awesome.
Shiningforceband.org.
ORG.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Really appreciate you making some time for us today. Thanks for coming on and chatting with us.
No, thank you for the invite.
And
Absolutely.
we'll definitely do this again. And gentlemen, have yourself a good rest of your Sunday.
Thank you, Jack.
Do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
There they go. That is Shining Force.
Shining Force.
And
Love
as we move into the Jiggy, well, we're still.
Did I mess up? Did I?
No,
I
you're
thought
here.
I jumped on the
You're
wrong
here,
call.
and I don't see a Bridget.
I don't see Bridget. Let me find out what's going on with that. I told her to be on it.
Let me see where
she's at.
Bridget in
Let me
another
call.
spot, but there is no Bridget in another spot. So
She accepted.
So we'll see. We'll I don't know. We'll
All right,
we'll
so
see
we got
what
Glenn
happens.
29th. Let me see what's going on. I just talked to her husband yesterday, oddly enough.
Okay, well I'm gonna place you on a brief hold here on the
Go
old
for it,
Stitch
yeah.
tape, but I will be right back. We are gonna do this. We are going to go play a Shining Force track? Maybe we'll just do this. Let's just take a commercial break. And then
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Are you getting all the benefits you need? If you have Medicare, you may now be able to get new benefits. Benefits may include eyeglasses, wellness visits, gym membership, meal delivery, and hearing aids with low copay. To find out which benefits you qualify for and to find out if you're